Hey, what's going on, everybody? Cornbread Trucker here, coming at you from the Flying J here in Avondale, Arizona. So I want to apologize first. I did not get any footage of me strapping, tarping the last load or getting it unloaded. The reason I didn't shoot footage of me strapping and tarping it was the shipper, their policy was absolutely no phones, no videos, nothing of that inside their plant. And that's where it loaded at. And it was raining out, so not only did I have to strap it, I had to tarp it inside also. So, and then this load was actually supposed to deliver today, which gave me more than enough time to get out here. And I was kind of split because I was running out of hours. I knew by the time I got done I was only going to have 7 hours left on my 70-hour clock, and really I had 3 days before I'd pick up any more hours. I've ran hard, so I knew I was going to be doing a 34, and part of my thought was, because I had an all-day window today, part of my thought was to get to the 90, because I wanted to squeeze out that 34. So my thought was, if I just go ahead and do the 90, because you could park out on the street there, and I have everything I need. I mean, that's not the preferred place to be, but because of the way things was working out, I figured I could probably squeeze out my 34 there, and then get unloaded with the fresh 70-hour clock. But I was really hoping that when I got there they would be open and would take the delivery, and they did. So that worked out good. So I was able to at least come over to the truck stop and do a 34. So I'll be ready to go really here in just a few hours. But I tried to get a pre-plan, and I messaged the fleet manager this morning, let him know that I'd appreciate one, so I can just get up in them later on, and when my clock rolled over, and start heading that way, if at all possible. Maybe the load wouldn't allow me to do that, but anyways, he said he'd work on it, and then I checked with him later on the day before he left, and as of that time there was no loads. So we'll see what happens in the morning if I don't get an alert before then. But I'm not too concerned about it. But you know, the time of year and economy being what it is, you know, sometimes you just gotta be a little patient. My brother works for another company. I won't name the name, but he gets a little frustrated with them, and you know, sometimes it's easy for us as drivers. We know that there's a lot of loads out here, and you see all these trucks, and so in our minds, you know, there should be loads we should be able to go and pick up. Now, I'll say he's on the refrigerated side with this company. In fact, that's all they do. And so he was venting a little bit. It was going to be tomorrow before he could pick up a load, this particular load, and then it really was only like 500 and something miles, and it doesn't unload till Friday, which even aggravated me. And I don't blame him for that, because you know, it's Tuesday right now, And so he was not happy about that, but he's been venting quite a bit about this situation. You know, he's a company driver and he wants miles. But you know, I tell him all the time, and I kind of reminded him today that, you know, our refrigeration side, you know, I see a lot of comments on Prime Uncensored. I think there's a couple others, but they, you know, where drivers have to sit waiting on the loads, and then got to wait, sitting on a load, waiting to deliver, or, you know, at the 01, sitting for 24, 48 hours to get a load, and then turn around and sit at the 90. So there's all kinds of scenarios, and then deadheading halfway across the country. There's just a lot going on, and I explained it to, you know, to try and calm him, that, you know, it's happening here at Prime and other companies too, and that's not a lie. We all know that it's across the board. Some may be able to operate a little better. Maybe they're not as big, and maybe have specific contracts that it's hard to say, but as a whole, I think, you know, the whole industry is struggling. And so he's one of those guys that will really get into the ear of a dispatcher. And, you know, I used to do that too. I remember when I drove 20 years ago. I don't know how anybody ever put up with me. I just thought I had to tell them, you know, how the cookie crumbled, I guess. I'm glad I have matured, and you know, I realize they've got a job to do too, and some of them deserve it. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know, here at Prime, it's kind of a different thing though. Our planning and sales, you know, they have to defer to them. They're just the middleman now, and dispatch has always been the middleman, but they're really the middleman here. So some are probably better at it than others, there's no doubt, but our dispatchers, fleet managers, man, they get an earful from plenty of people. And, you know, as far as a lot of these loads and stuff, that you know, they're just getting them from planning. So it's not all on them. And so I try to keep that in mind. You know, I would, like I said, I'd really love to have a pre-plan right now. I would rather be able to see, you know, plan the thing out and know what time I want to get up and take off. But it is what it is. I'll be patient. My brother did calm down after I talked to him a little bit, just maybe putting a little bit of this in perspective. The Flying J here the day. I went in earlier to go get a shower, and I couldn't. I had reserved it. It was trying. Well, I didn't reserve it. It said I had reserved a shower. I opened up the app, and before I could even reserve it, it said that I was next. So I went ahead and got my stuff together, walked in, and as I was walking in, a driver was walking out. He said, "You go into showers?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, they're out of service. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said no showers right now. He said it's supposed to be, I guess, a couple hours. And so I thought, well, I'll go do some laundry. And he said, "Well, you can't do that either." He said it's flooded. So they had the sewer line backed up, and they had to get the plumbers out. And so later I did manage to finally get a shower. And when I I kind of walked in before my number was up, and I saw him coming out. He was mopping the floors. I was really grateful for that. You know, and I got the handicap shower, and Flying J's got to do better. A lot of these truck stops got to do better. The floor was wet because of him just mopping. I didn't mind that, but he didn't turn the fan on. And I discovered pretty much right away, because as soon as I turned the fan, the cover fell off, just about hit me in the head. Then, of course, the shower valve really needs to be replaced. All it is a cartridge, but Flying J's maintenance can't seem to do that. And I'm not blaming their maintenance people. This is a corporate issue. But, so, you know, water is dripping. You know, well, it was more than dripping. It was almost a steady stream coming out. It was a steady stream coming out of there. And of course, the way this particular handicap shower, there was nothing to stop the water from really running out onto the floor, which really made things worse. You know, luckily I found a few dry spots that once I kicked my boots off, I left my socks on. I won't stand on the, my feet do not touch their floors. But if I've got my socks on, I'll stand on the floor, and I probably shouldn't even do that. But anyway, so luckily there's a couple spots that I could stand without getting wet. And the faucet leaked every time you turn the valve on of the sink faucet. So water running everywhere on the counter, and then it leaked and leaking underneath. And the rack, you know how they've got the rack so you can put your bag in, a hat, whatever, hang a towel, whatever. They're usually kind of somewhere close to the door. Well, it was holding on by one screw that was barely holding on. You know, it doesn't take much. I mean, just come in with the hammer drill, you know, drill a couple new holes and put some anchors in. And you know, the fan was missing all its clips. I don't know how the front cover was even up there in the first place. But I don't know. You come across this crap all over. Shower heads that leak, you know, where they screw the shower head on, it's not tight, it's loose. There needs to be, and this comes back again, this is a corporate problem. Not providing, you know, monies for proper maintenance and parts and materials. The showers are, I assume those are oh, now I can't even think of the name of it. They're popular shower valves and for commercial. Oh, the name will come to me later, but all it is a cartridge. Just shut the water off and pull the handle and take the trim off, and you can pull that cartridge out and slap a new cartridge in, and that would solve that problem. But you know, that would take away from money. You know, the bad thing about corporations and shareholders is it's always about making them more money, and I get it, but the way they go about it a lot of times, instead of coming up with something new, something better that they can draw more business or make a little better profit off of, or you know, is the take. This is, and I'm getting into something, this is just my opinion. I'm all for, I love the capitalist system and I believe in making money, but it's just that it always, too many of these places, they continue to take from the business itself and just run it into the ground. And that's really what's going on with Flying J and Pilot, and honestly, you know, all of them. Now, Loves has been building, you know, quite a few. Well, they're all kind of building, and Pilot Flying J is doing a lot of remodels and stuff. So And that could be some of the reasons why some of these showers, you know, they got capital projects coming up, and so they're just letting them run. But you know, we see the same problem in the fuel bays and stuff. The fuel dripping, the hose where the hose connects to the handle. You know, it just dripping there. But that's, you know, really that's been around for a long time. But so it'd be nice if, you know, if they had a, you know, somebody changes the light bulb, so why, you know, why can't they at least change the shower valve? You know, it's just a cartridge. But so that's kind of my day in a nutshell. Still might jump in and go do, I ain't got much laundry, but I probably ought to go ahead and do it. I'm gonna have a fresh clock and probably running really hard again, I hope. However, man, this last week when I came back from Florida and started running it, I mean, that's what I did. I just ran. Oh, and when I got unloaded from that first load, the 2-stop down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, waited a little bit for the next dispatch, and then I had a step deck, and right in the notes was no step decks for my next pickup. So I ended up running about 100 miles out of route to drop that step deck and pick up a 48 flat, and then run back over to the 01. So that ate up some time that I didn't really want to use, but I don't think at that point it wouldn't have mattered. And then, you know, I was running from the East Coast basically, because I ran up to Kentucky to pick up that load, and then came out here to Goodyear. So yeah, that was a good little run. Kept me busy for the weekend for sure. But then I was out of hours and had to set anyways. I wouldn't have mind. It wouldn't have bothered me none to have maybe a little bit shorter load and set maybe Sunday or something. But you know, as long as it paid good. But this load, and this wasn't the best paying load by far, but it was worth it. It'll make for a okay check. So anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here. This video is gone way too long. I think we're 18-minute mark now, but be sure and hit that like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And again, I'll leave my driver code in the description if you're new to trucking and you're looking at coming to Prime and you want to use my driver code. That's there. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to comment. There's a way to contact me there. There's my recruiter that, you know, brought me in the Prime. I've got his information on there. So feel free to reach out. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. And anybody else who just wants to, you know, shoot a comment over, I'd be glad to, you know, look at the comments and respond back to them. So, all right, you guys stay safe out there. Again, Happy New Year. I hope this year's better than last. I know it's got some challenges in front of it, but you know, we can endure. So have a good one, everybody.